Hello everyone, Gamer Ninja here, and welcome to the next Pokemon of the week. This week we're going to be talking about Delphox, and this is going to be a pretty short one just because Delphox, despite being cool and being my personal favorite in terms of appearance of the three starters, is not nearly as good as, say, Greninja, or even I'd make an argument that Chestnut is even more competitive than Delphox. It's not really Delphox's fault. It's just that Greninja gets protein, and honestly, fire types aren't exactly the strongest things right now. Everyone is running around using Flash Fire pokes, be it Arcanine or Heatran right now, just because they want something to be able to take fairy type attack. So it literally, if Delphox had come in like a generation or two earlier, it'd be a really good Pokemon. But that doesn't change the fact that you can't use it. At least not in the higher tiers. But in the lower tiers, it can really shine. So looking at the base stats, it's sort of some very interesting base stats. Let's go to this one actually. It has 75 base HP, which is alright. You're not really a tank anyway. 69 at base attack. You're a special attacker, so you don't care. 72 defense. It would have been nice to have that a bit higher, but it's not the end of the world. 114 special attack, which is really quite high. 100 special defense, which is also quite high. And then 104 speed, which is an awkward speed tier, but it lets you add speed things like Garchomp, so that's always a plus if you really wanted to use it in OU. For the record, this is probably going to be based more off of lower tiers, and it's more effective in the lower tiers, obviously. But that shouldn't stop people from trying to use Delphox, at least in a tier or two higher than its, what is it, RU? But yeah, it's got some pretty well-rounded stats. Again, it's not necessarily that Delphox is a bad Pokemon. It's just that there were so many other things that basically rendered it pretty ineffective in upper tiers. Namely, fairy types and Heatrans now being run everywhere. Like, every other team I've battled has had a frickin' Heatran because they needed something to be able to take fairy types. Namely, Mega Mawile. And even that's a half-assed check because of Focus Punch and Substitute, but that's neither here nor there. This is about Delphox, not Mega Mawile. I'll do a video on that later. Okay, so looking at Delphox's stats, to me he immediately screams choice set. He has high speed, high special attack, and decent enough bulk that he could actually stay in and keep pummeling stuff. So this is the arguably the best early game one or late game one would probably be Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf gives you the speed that you need to basically play cleanup, and it really is a lot of. It's a big difference. It lets you have speed everything in the RU tier. So there's always that, and but alternatively, Choice Specs just lets you become a walking nuke and blow up walls. No wall that isn't a pink blob is going to enjoy eating a Specs Fire Blast coming from a 114 special attack. However, if you do use choice specs, you lose out on a lot of sweeping capabilities. Instead, you're focused more on just applying a lot of damage as much as possible on as many things as possible, and then letting something else play cleanup. So that's sort of the choice there. As for ability, I use Blaze. However cool Magician would be, uh, we already have Switcheroo, which basically does the same thing. And while it's an interesting ability, it's not nearly as likable as the damage boost to Blaze. I see some fun stuff with this, and maybe once some of the extra gems come out, it'll become more usable, but right now it's just sort of a subpar option. As for the, whoops, 1 second here. As for moves, for both choice sets, I use Fire Blast, Psyshock, Grass Knot, and Switcheroo. Fire Blast is just really heavy damage, and I'd highly recommend it over Flamethrower on this particular sets, or on a choice set, just because your job is basically to get in there, do as much damage as possible, and then get out. And while the accuracy can be a bit of a letdown, for you're gonna miss that extra damage. You miss out on quite a few 2-hit KOs if you go to Flamethrower. And you just want to force as much things out so you can keep firing off the attacks. As for EVs and nature, I run max special attack, max speed, obviously, and depending on the set, you could either run timid or modest. Honestly, on the choice scarf set, I'd probably run modest. Running timid on the choice scarf set is a bit overkill, and I'd probably run the reverse. Modest on the choice scarf set over timid, and timid on the choice spec set. Just to help give you a little bit of an edge in the area that you're a bit weaker in because of your choice of item. So that's the choice sets. If I catch anyone using Banded Delphox, please don't do it. Don't do it. Your physical move pool consists of Return/Frustration, Flame Charge, Power Up Punch, and there was one other move. I think the next move that you actually get that's even remotely physical. Facade, I guess, is physical. Anyway, the point is that this is a very, very bad idea. Don't do it. It is better than some things, namely Choice Banded Magikarp and Choice Banded Phoebos. But, why use Choice Band when you can use Choice Scarf for Choice Specs? Anyway, moving on. Looking at his stats, high special defense, high speed, and high special attack. This thing screams calm mindset. It just is like it's like made for choice spec calm mindset, and this should have a nature. God damn it. Modest. We use a life orb on the set. You can use leftovers, but again, it's a matter of how much longevity do you really think that something that's weak to rock, ground, and water, and dark is going to live anyway. So you might as well get as much damage down as possible. And the Life Orb recoil can actually help you get into Blaze range, allowing you to hit stuff even harder. Our moves are Fire Blast, Calm Mind, Psyshock, and Grass Knot. Little tidbit, you can use Psychic over Psyshock. I like Psyshock because I personally hate everything named Blissey and Chansey and anything of that sort. And the initial instinct is to send in a special defense wall when somebody is starting to use Calm Mind. So you can just use Psyshock and obliterate them. As for EVs, max speed, max special attack, foreign defense. You could put some in bulk, but again, with Life Orb, you're not going to be living too long anyway. And, yeah, this is a Pokemon that you can basically toss on if you just need a setup sweeper, and it will probably work out well as long as you have some rapid spin support. And by the way, Delphox loves hazards for it and hates it against it, so having like a Fortress or a Donphan or something like that would be an advisable decision if you're actually going to use this thing in competitive play. All in all, it's a pretty simple set. Set up Calm Minds, Fire Blast something, watch it die, Psyshock something else, watch it die, and if any water ground types come in to ruin your day, use Grass Knot and watch them die. It's really simple. Next up, we have a set that I've sort of been playing around with in my head, and honestly, it's worked better than I ever thought it should. It's like a bulkier, tankier set, and it really shouldn't work with how many weaknesses that Delphox has. It's weak to rock, it's weak to ground, it's weak to dark, and it's weak to water. Those are the 4 most common types of attacks, other than maybe fighting in Fairy, in the entire game. Like, if you want coverage, those are the moves that you're using for types of moves you're using for coverage. Everybody wants to have Earthquake on a Pokemon, or Earth Power. Stone Edge and Rock Slide are pretty common. Surf is on, like, a water type's on every team, basically, right now. And Knockoff just got a major buff, so it's going to be being thrown around quite a bit. Nevertheless, this set has actually worked out pretty well, but I've had to build some... you have to... Unlike the other Delphoxes, where you just sort of toss them onto a team if you needed it, this is a Delphox that you set up your team around. You need to be able to get rid of anything that could potentially one-shot this thing. Once it gets that status / mystical fire off, it can basically wall whatever it wants for a good long while, and then proceed to blow up stuff anyway. So it works out pretty well. Now, onto the moves. We have Mystical Fire, which is an interesting move. It's a base 60 power, I believe. 65 power. And then it lowers the opponent's special attack by 1. So that it basically gives you some extra bulk, and it might force some switches out, which is really nice for a set like this. Then I personally run Will-O-Wisp. I guess you could run Toxic if you really want to break down walls really quickly. I like Will-O-Wisp because it helps shore up your subpar defenses, and it's good tick damage. Honestly, I'd probably run it on other sets if Switcheroo wasn't a thing. Uh, anyway, then we run Psyshock because it's Psyshock, and then I personally run Hidden Power Fighting just to mess with every single rock type that wants to come in on me. You could run Hidden Power Grass if you really wanted to. I like Hidden Power Fighting, personally. I don't know why. But it also helps me break through Umbreon, at least to a degree. And is a nice little surprise. But in hindsight, Hidden Power Grass is probably the safer option, or Grass Knot. But we really did want some type of coverage move here, so it works out. As for the EVs, this is the EV set I've been experimenting with. We're using 48 HP just to give us some extra bulk on the HP stat. It gives us 303, which isn't exactly Titanic, but it's still respectable. Then we have 252 defense. That's our weakest stat. We want to shore that up as much as possible, and it helps us take those knockoffs and such much easier. 200 special attack, because we still want to hit like a truck, and then 8 in speed. And then we use a bold nature to increase our defense even more. The 8 in speed just is sort of there because I didn't want to put it into HP because I don't want to risk any type of speed ties with other Delphoxes. It would just be very annoying if they could just start nuking me with whatever they want. So I just decided to say screw it, any other speedy Pokemon that doesn't utilize their full speed investment, I might have a chance of outspeeding. You could put those 8 HP in 8 EVs into HP. You'd still have an odd number, which is pretty important. All in all, this is a very, very, very team-oriented Delphox. You need to build the team around this Delphox, and it's up to you whether or not that's worth it or not. All in all, I really like Delphox. I just wish it had slightly higher stats. And then I could actually use the thing in OU, and it wouldn't be outclassed in every way, shape, and form by Heatran. Literally, Heatran does what this thing is trying to do, but better. Except it's a bit faster, which can come in handy, admittedly. Anyway, this is it for me, guys. Gamer Ninja, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope to catch you all next time. And, oh, one quick thing. Thank you very much for all the support. Ever since that, subscriber special, in, like, 2 days, I got 8 more subscribers. So, thank you all for all of your help. I'm glad you're all at least enjoying the content and enjoying what I do. I love making these videos, and they're a lot of fun for me. So anyway, thank you all so much. And with that, Gamer Ninja out.